Hello and welcome to American Amnesia. I'm your host, Cliff Garner. And today I was going to look at something I find rather interesting. It's these white helmet guys have made their way into the news again. And they are not who who we're told to accept them as. Hollywood wants to make them out to be heroes, and our government was doing that. Now, I don't think Trump is really all that worried about them. As a matter of fact, I kind of suspect that he's a bit skeptical about them. But he really hasn't said much on them. I'll put some links in, especially where I'm quoting from. And I got the... Actually, I have their site, whitehelmets.org here, dialed up, and I'm going to read a few things to you. They have they're right there at the beginning of their page. It's like on Facebook and share on tweet and blah blah blah. Donate now. They got a nice big button there. Support the white helmets, right? And they have a petition to the UN Security Council on barrel bombs, and of course shows a picture of them acting heroically, right, carrying a stretcher and all this and that. Says the most dangerous place in the world. When the bombs rain down, the Syrian civilian defense rushes in a place where public service no longer functions. These unarmed volunteers risk their lives to help anyone in need, regardless of their religion or politics. Okay. Yeah, we've seen them rooting on executions of Christians and what have you. Known as the White Helmets, these volunteer rescue workers operate in the most dangerous place on earth. As the conflict in Syria worsens, ordinary people are paying the highest price. More than 50 bombs and mortars a day land on some neighborhoods in Syria. Many are rusty barrels filled with nails and explosive rolled out from the back of government helicopters. Bakeries and markets are the most commonly hit targets. When this happens, the White Helmets rush in to search for life in the rubble, fully aware that more bombs may fall on the same place. These volunteers have saved 90,922 lives, and this number is growing daily. Quote here, Syrians are killed every day with various kinds of weapons, but the deadliest ones are the barrel bombs because of their indiscriminate nature. According to Raed al-Saleh, head of the White Helmets. Okay, so there's their boss, or whatever you want to call it. Raed al-Saleh. And, of course, nothing's complete without the documentary movie for Netflix, The White Helmets. To save a life is to save all humanity. Nice platitude. The White Helmets movie. For 6 years, the headlines on Syria have been dominated by extremists and dictators. But now the spotlight is finally in its rightful place on the incredible heroes of Syria. A new Netflix documentary, The White Helmets, from Oscar-nominated team behind Virunga, is available for streaming on Netflix. In living rooms across the world, millions of people can now walk the bombed-out streets of Aleppo with these inspiring rescue workers. We don't always know what will make history. This could be the thing that multiplies the movement of support for the White Helmets and forces world leaders to act to stop the bombs raining down on Syrian families. 175 White Helmets have been killed, saving lives. For them, and for every Syrian civilian, let's watch this film, share it with our friends, and demand support for the White Helmets and their message of peace. I can hardly read this. Just seeing what I've seen about these guys. This is just... It's disgusting. It is really disgusting. I could be facetious all day. I really can too. But I'm disgusted. I can't even stand this. Just seeing what I have seen of these people. I really hesitate to say anything else because I might just get really foul. So, they've come into the news again, and they've been exposed before. It's not like this is anything new. This is what I'm looking for. And I thank the hard bastard for pointing this out in his news program. It's just one of these things. Here it comes again. It's like there's no end to this nonsense. This barrage of propaganda that we get fed, and there's not a whole lot we can do about certain aspects of this. I mean, Obama put us in where he put us in. He had us backing Erdogan, backing the Arab Spring. And Erdogan started the war in Syria. How he started? Well, before all that started up, there was a big issue of the minefields between Turkey and Syria along their border. Erdogan brought in an Israeli company, actually, to remove the mines, and after that he started funneling those guys across, and they were ISIS and al-Nusra mostly, and there were some other various nut job groups that are Sunni oriented, but those were the two main ones. Al-Nusra is actually al-Qaeda proper, and ISIS was al-Zarqawi's group in Iraq that was anointed as al-Qaeda in Iraq by the original parent organization, just so that they would have a presence there. So that's them. And these fellows here seem to be particularly tied to both of the groups, and I'm seeing more on the whole with al-Nusra once again. Al-Nusra probably has more of a I'm going to say international reach than ISIS. ISIS has been a little ballsier in claiming themselves to be the caliphate first, but that's about their claim to fame, is that they were the first one to jump that far. I think that what you'll find is that Erdogan is probably going to have more of the staying power and more of the really all-around ability to wait out and even fight out, if it comes to it, with any of the groups that might try to beat him to actually establishing a caliphate. Erdogan has a vision of it being a neo-Ottoman caliphate, and I think that he's got the basically the inside track. Just because ISIS was the first one to declare it through their leader al-Baghdadi, that doesn't mean that they're going to win the contest. Now, there's a second thing that if I have time I'll get to, but first I want to go into these white helmets, because they have done a very good PR job. At least with a certain segment of the population, namely those that follow the Hollywood lies and idiocy, and their connected Democratic Party groupings, I suppose. But you know, this all goes to the various biases that are still remaining. The hysterical part of the country really believes this, and this would include the MSN, the mainstream media. The fact is that because I really have the feeling that going in, President Trump was given a lot of the bias from the neocon wing of that single party entity. We really should call it the power party, which is the establishment wings of both the Democrats and the Republicans, which really constitutes a single party. They agree more than they disagree, and it's on the other parts that they have any real difference at all, and that's really where the true believers, one way or the other, are found, and to some extent they're part of the problem too. But the biggest problem really is where they meet together. I've been seeing this more and more, and what had happened with the Obama so-called hope and change, with this supposed socialist movement that really was it was more establishment than any of them. So, at any rate, this article that the hard bastard had gone into, this is the latest time that they've gotten busted, and that the truth about these assholes. Yes, that's what I think of them. These assholes got caught again, being who they really are, and their guard is dropped once again. They probably have a great deal of contempt of the Western people, because it seems like people go along with that ring in their nose. But here we go. This is an article. It says, yet another video shows U.S.-funded white helmets assisting public executions in rebel-held Syria. Now, if these guys are neutral, why are they helping out on these executions? What's the deal here? They are showing their actual alignment. That's what they're doing. This is by Ben Norton and Max Blumenthal. They're on Alternet. This is from the Real News. This same article propped up on other places, including in salon.com, which is really kind of unusual. It'll probably get removed from there. But nonetheless, it says Syria Civil Defense, also popularly known as the White Helmets, can be seen in a new video assisting a public execution in a rebel-held town in Syria. It is at least the second such execution video featuring members of the Nobel Prize nominated group. So they've been nominated for a Nobel Prize now. Isn't that amazing? Of course, you figure Obama got his Nobel Prize for doing absolutely nothing. And these guys are going to come along and be just as non-peaceful. And maybe win one too. Isn't that just lovely? The White Helmets have received at least $23 million in funding from the U.S. Agency for International Development. That's USAID, a wing of the State Department. We need to stop sending them money. The British Foreign Office and other European governments have pitched in as well. Frequently cited as an invaluable source of information by major Western media outlets, the group was the subject of an Academy Award-winning 2016 Netflix documentary, The White Helmets. Endorsements from A-list Hollywood celebrities like George Clooney and Justin Timberlake, as well as Hillary Clinton and British Foreign Minister Boris Johnson, have followed. Large corporate media networks have yet to report on the dark side of the white helmets, however, and films like the widely celebrated Netflix function as uncritical commercials for the group, helping to keep the public in a state of ignorance about the domination of the Western-backed Syrian armed opposition by extreme Salafist jihadist groups, and about the civil conflict in general. While CNN and other outlets rely heavily on footage taken by White Helmet members, not one major Western media outlet has reported on the latest execution videos starring the group's uniformed members in uniform. The video, which Syrian opposition activists uploaded to Facebook, shows three men from the White Helmets rushing into the center of the crowd a mere seconds after an alleged criminal was shot in the head and removing the body on a stretcher. A member of the White Helmets can be seen celebrating along with the crowd of onlookers. Warning, this video features violence that may disturb viewers, and there's a picture up here. Let's see if there's a video for it. There is a video, and I'll provide a link if I have to. Yeah, it looks like I have to provide a separate link because it's not loading up on this page. Okay. The men in the video were clearly identified by their signature white helmets along with vests embroidered with the Syria Civil Defense logo. The public execution took place in the small city of Jassim in Syria's southern Daraa province, which is often described as a hub for moderate rebels. Activists posted the video on May, whatever those moderates are, May 16th on the Facebook page, coordination of the city of al-Hara, Mother of the Martyrs, the site for the opposition in the neighboring city of al-Hara. 2 days later, Syria Civil Defense released a carefully crafted statement admitting its members were involved in the execution. The statement noted that a tribal council in Jassim had asked the White Helmets to humanely dispose of the body of a person that had been sentenced to death by the local court for murder. The group said it had conducted an investigation into the execution and in response dismissed the White Helmet leader while temporarily suspending 2 other team members. This is just like the Democratic Party. Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigns. Oh, no, nothing to see, nothing to see. Executing an Oscar-worthy performance. This is not the first time the White Helmets have appeared as participants in a public execution. A jarring execution filmed in 2015 in the rebel-held town of Haratan shows 2 members of Syria Civil Defense walking just off camera, while a member of Syria's al-Qaeda affiliate Jabhat al-Nusra, al-Nusra there, yeah. I think Jabhat is party or something. I could be wrong. Reads out a death sentence before shooting a man dressed in street clothes in the head. Seconds later, the White Helmets team tosses the man's body onto a stretcher and scrambles away. And they have another video of that. Looks like both of them have been removed from this one. The 2015 video prompted a carefully worded statement by the organization condemning the killing and claiming its members were simply fulfilling their task by performing the emergency burial of the dead. Yeah, sure, we're going to execute this guy. Come on out and pull him away. We don't want to touch him. A British public relations outfit called the Syria Campaign was hired by an influential British Syrian billionaire, Ayman Asfari, to market the White Helmets to Western public. As Max Blumenthal has reported for Alternet, the Syria Campaign was itself a creation of a slick New York City and London-based public relations firm called Purpose. Among the PR group's greatest achievements was fundraising for the widely celebrated Netflix documentary. This year, the makers of the film were awarded with an Oscar for Best Documentary Short. As he received the honor before millions of viewers around the world, director Orlando Einsiedel read a prepared statement from Riyad al-Saleh, the director of the White Helmets. It's Riyad. Anyway, our organization is guided by a verse in the Qu'ran: to save one life is to save all humanity. Actually, that is copied directly from the saying in the Jewish religion, and that it has another application if you were to actually read the verse itself. It doesn't necessarily go into that nice of an area. It actually goes in another direction. But the execution videos call into question the White Helmets' claims to act as an impartial, life-saving rescue organization and raise serious questions about the motives of its funders and promoters within public relation firms and mainstream newsrooms. I'm going to look that up real quick because I know that it's not as innocuous as it sounds. To save one life. There we go. But that's the thing, you know. This gets passed around like a platitude, and it's not what people want to make it out to be. Here we go. Qu'ran. To save a life. Okay, I think it'll pop it up. Okay. It's on the ground here. Surah al-Madinah. Al-Ma'idah. Yeah, it's actually Sahih International. Here it says this is Surah 532. Because of that, we decreed upon the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul. See, this was never given to the Muslims. But we decreed upon the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul for a soul, or for the corruption done in the land, as if he had slain mankind entirely. And whoever saves one, it is as if he has saved mankind entirely. Then our messengers had certainly come to them with clear proofs. And indeed many of them, even after that, throughout the land, were transgressors who actually were deserving of being killed. So there you have it. It isn't quite as cut and dry as you generally get. Okay, so I wanted you to see that. So, anyway, to come back to the article here. Hidden soldiers of al-Qaeda and ISIS. The White Helmets operate exclusively within the armed Syrian opposition, working closely with al-Qaeda's local affiliate, Jabhat al-Nusra, and even ISIS. The British journalist and ISIS hostage John Cantilly or Cantley, okay, inadvertently exposed the group's relationship with ISIS when he referred to the White Helmets team as the Islamic State's Fire Brigade in a propaganda video he was forced to participate in. Videos and photos of White Helmets members posing triumphantly on the corpses of Syrian soldiers and joining fighters in accosting an alleged political opponent have circulated throughout the social media. In March 2015, the extremist sympathizing opposition media outlet Sarin posted a video featuring the White Helmets gleefully joining a chant with Salafi jihadist fighters in Idlib as they fire a fusillade of bullets into the air. Idlib is where that gas attack had happened recently. A member of the Syria Civil Defense grabs a flag from one of the militants and begins waving it. A black flag with the Shahada in white letters, a common Salafi jihadist symbol, emblazoned with the name of Jaish al-Sunnah, an extremist Islamist militia that is allied with Syria's al-Qaeda affiliate, al-Nusra, and that has reportedly recruited child soldiers with the help of the al-Qaeda-linked fundamental Saudi warlord Abdullah al-Muhaisini. Muhaisini. Okay. Another upload to YouTube posted just the same day by the rebel media outlet shows White Helmets joining the extremist militants in songs and chants. Al-Muhaisini, the ideological leader of Syria's Salafi jihadist rebels, has repeatedly praised the White Helmets. The Saudi warlord, who has been implicated in numerous war crimes in Syria, including mass executions of captured Syrian soldiers, insisted on an interview that there is no difference between the Mujahideen, Salafi jihadist fighters, and the White Helmets. So basically, the White Helmets are Mujahideen. The Mujahideen, some of them are White Helmets. Oh, no difference, huh? Well, there you have it. In May 2015, a White Helmets member named Muawiyah Hassan Aya posted a grotesque video to Facebook, since deleted, that showed extremist Syrian rebels torturing two captured soldiers that they later executed. Aya had also been filmed celebrating the capture of Idlib by al-Qaeda Syrian affiliate. Rumors circulated that Agha was dismissed from the White Helmets when his involvement in the atrocities came to light. This March, a leader of Hayat al-Tahrir al-Sham, the newly rebranded al-Qaeda-led rebel coalition in Syria, hailed the White Helmets in a special video message as the hidden soldiers of the revolution. For more coverage of the White Helmet scandal, read Max Blumenthal's two-part investigation here and here, and it has links to those, and Gareth Porter's expose of the White Helmet's misinformation. Ben Norton is the reporter for Alternet's Gray Zone Project. You can follow him at Twitter at Benjamin Norton. Because politics is perception, what we don't see is not counted. What we don't allow consciously to be perceived as true may be an anomalous, but it is nonetheless being treated as if it were true. So that said, what we're seeing here is something that they might say you didn't see, and you might agree with that. Okay? So what they're doing with your reality when they try to alter it with fake facts, let's put it that way, they're plastering over your perception in a way that you're not going to see what's going on behind the scenes. You're not going to understand why these things happen. And a lot of it you won't understand. But you can see that and take note of the fact that maybe you don't know it all. And if I'm quite capable of taking things and understanding that I don't know everything about it. I don't know how it connects to what is real. I don't know what to do with the facts, but the facts are still there. And just like something that doesn't belong, you just don't brush it away and throw it out because it doesn't fit in with the narrative that they're trying to give you, or the narrative that you're trying to give yourself, or the narrative that you come up with to try to explain things to other people. Those narratives are a means of coping. But if you can deal with a certain amount of ambiguity, you can start to see what's going on, and there is not that conspiracy theory that this other nutcase over here is trying to give you. It's not. That conspiracy theory is wrapping it up too well. There are things going on that you don't understand. Why do they happen that way? Well, we don't know. But we do know. What we know is that we and Erdogan and the Saudis were behind the Arab Spring and what had happened with it. And it took down Gaddafi, it took down Mubarak, it took down the guy in Tunis. But they and it started in on Syria, which is really kind of where they were wanting to go. They had some kind of a plan going on because they were pushing for Erdogan to go ahead and break up Iraq. And they weren't doing it for the benefit of Iran. They were doing it for another reason. Something else is going on here. And I'll bet it had something to do with the Kurds. And there was some kind of agreement going on there. Think about that. Now, it may have had something to do with Iran. I don't know. But I don't think they wanted to give it to the mullahs. I really don't. And I know they didn't want to give it to Ahmadinejad, who's no longer in power, by the way. Something in that twisted mind of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. And they were expecting Hillary pretty much all along to be his successor. It was kind of the plan. I don't think Obama was entirely happy with it, but he was willing to take the money. But somewhere in all that, there's something that's missing. There's something that we still need to get the parts of, and we don't have them. Furthermore, Assad's pretty well screwed. I mean, the world perception is that he's a jerk, that he's using gas on his own people. That it happened before, and And al-Nusra probably helped Erdogan pull that off to try to get us embroiled in Iraq. Not Iraq, in Syria. And Obama stayed out of it, and he decided he was going to push around all over Africa for a while. And he ended up finally getting embroiled in it in the last couple of years of his time in. That's not to his credit, but he did keep us out of it for a couple more years. And Erdogan was pulling very hard to pull him in. I watched that happen in Turkey. And that was really what was going on there. That was the red line. And Obama was suddenly like, well, there's something going on over in Africa. I know, let's get involved in Uganda. I know, Coney 2012. Yeah. That didn't work first time. Let's go ahead and go there now that nobody's looking. That was one of many things. So, at any rate, Assad's got his own deal to work with. President Trump is obviously going to go ahead and hold on to that narrative, or at least for the time being. And it kind of takes care of the whole Russia deal. More Russia, yeah. It wasn't there in the first place. And now, he's throwing it down to where it's going to be a little harder to fix, but it could still be fixed. Things with Russia can be fixed. When I was a kid, I used to envision possibility of Russia and the U.S. coming together more as the Russia would liberalize and we would become increasingly socialist, and we would kind of meet somewhere in the area of social democracy and become really the world power. That could still happen. But Russia needs to liberalize. That's for sure. We can't be dealing with them the way they are. And Europe isn't liberalized. Look at the mess they have. Good grief. At any rate, we have this situation in Syria that we're not going to address honestly, because we have to maintain the pretense that Assad, yes, he's capable of doing just about anything, but we have to maintain the pretense that he did gas his people twice. And that's going to be kind of a bone of contention with Russia, although it's not an insurmountable one. And if we could maintain peace in our time, that would be a fantastic thing. Why? I get them wanting to keep NATO, okay, and I'm not against what he did as far as telling the rest of NATO to carry their weight. They should, especially because they're asking a lot out of us. They have been, because this whole alliance is held up by a lot of other underpinnings and stuff, and that these things that these little ties that bind us are mostly borne by America, and they have been all along. We used to had, some of us had a thing, the regular risk club, right? And we would meet about once a week and play, and we'd talk about world politics, in a more advanced kind of way, getting away from this Democrat-Republican nonsense, the dichotomy of stupidity, And when you really got down to it, politics is a lot of real estate. And where you are and what you're doing and how you're using it is really a lot of where politics is. I mean, when it comes down to international politics, location, right? And that determines who your friends and enemies are. And we were always the brawn, and Europe was always the brains. And maybe it's about time we put the shoe on the other foot. I've been seeing that for a long time. It's about time. So anyway, we still have this situation with Assad. We have to deal with it because otherwise we would undermine anything that we might have going with Erdogan in Turkey. And that connection, I don't think that just walking in as president, that Donald Trump could just say, just get out of here, Tayyip, you're a useless POS, and he really might come to that eventually, but you just can't walk in the door and say that. He has been an ally in the past. But he's definitely got his own ideas, and he's a snake. He's a real snake. And you need to hold a snake right there back behind the back of their head there. Right where it hits that first vertebrae. That's where you hold a snake. And you don't let him go, no matter how much he whips his tail. He's going to whip his tail, guaranteed. So with his little dirty tricks and everything, he's a tricky one. Now there was another thing that I was going to get to here, and this is a thing that was probably underreported. I may have mentioned it. There's a girl who was in Syria, and this was when Aleppo was still the big news. And like I say, I may have mentioned. I know that I posted on my Facebook. With Facebook, I really kind of got caught up in it as a what would you call it? A medium, because of really just timing. And I never was able to switch over to YouTube in 2012 because I was really kind of caught up in Facebook. Not only that, I just really didn't have the time to figure out what I was doing. So my posts that I tried to make when I first started a YouTube account back in 2012 really didn't go very far. And like I say, I was kind of caught up in the medium because at least I knew what I was doing and stuff. But this girl, her name is Bana Alabed. And she's become less important than she was, but when Aleppo was going down, she was really important, and a lot of it was her mother tweeting about her experience there. How was she 8 years old or something? That anyway, she was also very controversial because most people smelled a rat here, and for good reason. They're well, for one thing, her English was so good. For another, she ended up being used right away by Erdogan as soon as the family got out of Aleppo. So here's an article. This is from 12/13/16 by a fellow named Greg Price. It says, as Bana Alabed's Twitter reel, fake Syrian girl's account is center of controversy. Over the last 3 months, one Twitter account broadcasting live from the war-ravaged city of Aleppo in Syria has sent out a mere 700 tweets, and the messages are now firmly affixed to the Twitterverse with more than 252,000 followers waiting for the latest update. However, while 7-year-old Bana Alabed's co-account with her mother has captivated the world, there are questions over whether the account is even real. So again, perception is politics. The tweets are at times poignant and heartbreaking and have a seemingly real tone of desperation as Aleppo continues to face bombings and airstrikes from Russia, the U.S., and the Syrian government headed by President Bashar Assad. But Russia and Syria opponents believe the account to be fraudulent and part of a propaganda machine to drum up opposition to Assad's government and how the civil war is currently being handled. Bana Alabed tweet, right? My name is Bana. I'm 7 years old. I am talking to the world now live from East Aleppo. Hashtag Aleppo. Now, this is my last moment, either live or die. Bana. Oh, poor baby. And another tweet. Hello, my friends. How are you? I am fine. I am getting better without medicine. Too much bombing. I miss you, Bana. Hashtag Aleppo. The account's description states it's managed by Bana's mother, Fatima, who also pens a majority of the tweets and provides updates on recent bombings, including those that have allegedly fallen right on their doorstep. Bana Alabed, at Alabed Bana. Our new house is hit with a rocket. This is the worst bombing I have ever seen. We are already convinced we will die. Fatima, hashtag Aleppo. That's 10 December 2016. The veracity of each tweet and the account look on some weight after Fatima Alabed spoke to CNN Sunday to combat accusations that she's aligned with the rebels or spreading propaganda. Blasts could be heard in the background while the interview was conducted. Now, that can also be manipulated, and that's the idea. It's in quotation marks. We are sure that the world listened to us. The world listened to the kids. Alabed said, I am still here. I am real. I am still fighting for my children's life. We are not propaganda. We are real people. We are Aleppo's people. The New York Times also spoke with Fatima and reported last week that anti-Assad government activists and doctors who are presently in eastern Aleppo confirmed the identity of the mother and daughter. Twitter's also verified the account. Okay, well, of course, you know, with when you get with celebrities, they have to jump into things like this, and of course Lindsay Lohan, really creepy picture with Tayyip Erdogan and his wife, and there's another one of her with Bana. It's really, I'm sorry, I've seen too much propaganda from Turkey, and it just churns my stomach. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan took a break Friday from dealing with his country's domestic issues to meet with actress Lindsay Lohan and Bana Alabed, the 7-year-old Syrian girl who attracted worldwide attention by tweeting about life in war-torn Aleppo. Alabed, who's been living in Turkey since she was evacuated from Aleppo on December 19th, just a few days after that tweet, right? Tweeted a Periscope video with Lohan writing, Look who I am with. I have a new friend, Lindsay Lohan. Oh, lovely. In the 30-second video, Lohan 30 says, "We want to send all the people of Syria and Aleppo suffering and all the refugees that we are here supporting you, and you can hang on and be strong just like Bana has, and we're sending you lots of love and light and blessings." Alabed then says to Lohan, "I love you," to which the actress responds, "I love you too." Lohan also posted a photo with on Instagram Friday of herself with Alabed Erdogan and his wife Emine, writing, "What a dream it is for Mr. President Erdogan and the First Lady to invite me to their home palace." By the way, they deliberately targeted a forest reserve that was in the name of Ataturk, and they just tore it up and put in that palace there on purpose. At any rate, for all you real environmentalist types, that's what they did. Lovely. I'm sure you don't care. What a dream it is for Mr. President Erdogan and the First Lady to invite me to their home. Their home. Their efforts in helping Syrian refugees is truly inspiring. Oh, please. Lohan also tagged President Donald Trump in the photo's caption. Alabed tweeted the same photo, writing, "Meeting with my friends at RT Erdogan, Emine, and at Lindsay Lohan to support the people of Syria. I am searching the rights of Syrian children." Lovely. Yeah, she also sent a tweet to our president saying, "I will be your friend if you help our people." Okay. And you could just see Erdogan's hand in the whole thing. It's just ridiculous. So the upshot of it is that none of this is going to be a big deal. Everybody's going to see the children, right? I mean, that's always a way of grabbing us and dragging us into the hell that they want to pull us into. The globalist idiots and assholes. That's their way. Involve the children. And Erdogan's smart enough to play that game. He does. I mean, he did, and he got Lindsay Lohan. Oh, she's even wearing a hijab, I mean, thinks she's a Muslim now. She has no clue whatsoever what that means. She really doesn't. She doesn't know what it is. Good grief, she probably doesn't read. Or if she does, I'd be a little shocked, but I'm sure it's nothing heavy like that. There's no way she would understand that. And she surely doesn't understand what Erdogan means by it either. Sucker. She's a useful idiot. More idiot than useful. But all that is part of the perception. We perceive this little girl and want to believe that she's not only real, but that she's not being manipulated as propaganda. Well, she was probably propaganda from the word go. Just being where she was at. She was in the al-Nusra territory. Who do you think funneled her up to Turkey? Who do you think? Don't ask questions, right? That's a very simple question, and it blows the whole narrative, all to hell. Blows it all to hell. But at the same time, our perception is that we should be at war with Russia and with Syria at the same time as we are with ISIS. I don't think that we really want to go to war with Russia at all. I think we want to minimize our conflict with Syria, and I think we want to take ISIS out. ISIS is not going to be useful much longer anyway. And Erdogan will probably take them out himself, just because he doesn't want al-Baghdadi to be the caliph. He has his own people whispering in his ear that he is the caliph, that he is the caliph who's going to bring about the apocalypse. That's what he's got. Don't fool yourself. That's what he's got going on. You can look it up. What is his name? Yeet Bulut. Y-I-G-I-T. Yeet Bulut. B-U-L-U-T. Look the name up. He's just one of many, but he's a really strange character. And he's been whispering in his ear, "Sir, you are the Mahdi. You will bring about the apocalypse." The man is as crazy as Ahmadinejad. Don't fool yourself. Until next time.